The clash of swords echoed harshly through the night as sparks flew into the air, blending seamlessly with the glow of distant stars. Araden spun gracefully, dodging an opponent's blade by mere inches. Her attacker, a masked mercenary clothed in obsidian-colored leather, pressed harder, his strikes growing more aggressive with desperation. "You fight with fury, but your movements lack precision," Araden shouted as steel met steel again. She shifted her weight, using the mercenary's momentum to deliver a decisive blow, knocking his weapon from his grasp. "Please, spare me," the mercenary begged, raising trembling hands in surrender. Breathing heavily but undaunted, Araden steadied her gaze, sharp and unyielding. "Tell your master," she spoke firmly, "that his blood magic will never own this land." She lowered her sword and turned away dismissively, leaving her defeated assailant in the starlit forest clearing. Gazing upward, she caught her breath as the stars glittered brightly in constellations more vivid tonight than any she could recall. One constellation in particular captured her attention. 7 magnificent stars arranged in the shape of a crown shone brighter than all others, illuminating her surroundings in an unnatural silvery light. "The Crown of Starnost," whispered a voice behind her, startling Araden from her trance. Turning quickly, she saw an elderly woman stepping from the shadows, cloaked in faded violet robes embroidered with silver threads, luminous as moonlight. "Who are you?" Araden asked cautiously, hand prepared to place her grip back upon her sword. "Fear not, child," the elder said softly, raising a calming hand. "I have searched long and far for the rightful heir. Tonight, beneath the awakened stars, my quest at last ends." Though aged, her eyes gleamed with hope and knowledge when she stepped closer to Araden. "You are Araden, daughter of Astralya, marked by the stars themselves. You are of Starnost blood, and your birthright awaits." "What madness do you speak? The royal line was lost long ago, destroyed by dark magic." Araden protested, but her voice trembled with doubt. "Not destroyed, hidden, waiting for the right heart and spirit," said the elder, handing Araden a pendant that emitted a dim yet comforting glow. It bore the shape of the crown constellation above. Feeling drawn to its warmth, Araden hesitantly took the artifact, her fingers closing around it carefully. "You have strength and courage, but to reclaim your throne and save Astralya from darkness, you'll need far more. Soon your enemies will rally against you. Seek out those whose hearts remain true, those who share your destiny," the elder advised urgently, eyes locked firmly on Araden's surprised, uncertain gaze. As the mysterious woman stepped back into the shadows, Araden held tight to the glowing pendant. She cast another glance at the stars above, feeling a solemn gravity she'd never known. "Am I truly the last?" she whispered into the night, waiting in vain for answers from the distant heavens. Above, the Crown of Starnost shone on, both a beacon of hope and a dire warning of the trials to come. Morning dawned over Astralya, painting the sky in hues of amber and gold, yet Araden found little comfort in the warmth of first light. Her mind spun amid shadows of doubt and destiny, haunted by the elder's cryptic words and the luminous pendant she now held tightly within her grasp. Driven from restless slumber, Araden swiftly gathered her belongings and prepared to leave her modest village home. She had grown accustomed to isolation, a warrior with reputation and acclaim, but few meaningful bonds. Yet today, a task had found her, one heavier than she had ever anticipated. Leaving the tranquil fields behind, Araden pressed on towards Eldermoor, a bustling settlement known for its collection of scholars and mystics who dedicated their lives to studying fallen stars. Perhaps there, she thought, she could find clarity about her lineage and gain allies who could walk the path ahead with her. Upon entering the precincts of Eldermoor, Araden marveled at the structures. Great stone libraries stretched skyward, their towers etched in celestial symbols and shimmering with subtle enchantments. Candles and lamps burned day and night, illuminating scholars bent diligently over ancient texts. Uncertain where to start, Araden hesitated in a cobblestone street, clutching her pendant nervously as it glowed faintly beneath her fingertips. Footsteps approached from behind, soft yet deliberate. "Lost, warrior?" called a voice, resonant yet gentle. Turning swiftly, Araden glimpsed a young man whose gentle countenance belied strength and wisdom. He wore robes similar to the elder from the night before, albeit newer and embroidered richly in vibrant blue threads. "Not lost," she corrected, cautious but assertive. searching for answers. So many who come here do, he chuckled softly, his eyes thoughtful. My name is Kalen, scholar of celestial lore. What knowledge do you seek? My heritage, Araden began reluctantly, and this. She revealed the pendant, its soft glow stronger now, illuminating her hopeful yet vulnerable expression. Kalen's eyes widened, astonishment overtaking composure. You bear the crest of Starnost. That cannot be possible. How did you come by it? It was entrusted to me, Araden admitted, by an elder who told me I'm descendant of the lost royal line. But I have doubts, many doubts. Kalen studied her carefully for several moments before speaking, his voice filled with wonder and conviction. Come with me. If this is true, our realm's fate truly balances on the edge of peril and hope. He led Araden through winding corridors of ancient archives, dusty shelves filled with oddities glowing with stagnant magic, finally halting before an ornate door. Within lies the Hall of Stars, Kalen said gravely, placing one hand gently upon the polished wood. Few have ever been granted access, but perhaps the stars themselves saw fit to guide you here. Araden's heart thudded anxiously as she pushed open the heavy doors, revealing a chamber bathed in silver starlight. Ancient astronomical instruments quietly hummed with life among towering scripture-etched pillars, and suspended high above, crystalline stars moved slowly in an elegant eternal dance. Standing in awe of their beauty, Araden felt clarity permeating her mind. It was undeniable. Her life was forever intertwined with these celestial entities. One thing is certain, Kalen spoke softly, gazing upward alongside her. Your path forward will be forged by inevitable hardship. Some secrets guarded closely, meant forgotten, shall awaken once more. I'm prepared for hardship, Araden responded firmly, newfound conviction igniting in her gaze as the saintly glow of starlight anchored her resolve. But can I count on your guidance? Kalen nodded resolutely, breaking into a reassuring smile. You have my knowledge and loyalty. Together, we must summon courage and allies, if Astralya is to see dawn again. Determined and united beneath the ancient wisdom of stars, Araden and her new ally set forth to rally others. Yet neither could know the darkness already moving swiftly, seeking relentlessly to extinguish any ember of hope. As evening drew over Eldermoor, lantern lights flickered and blossomed throughout the village streets, lending brightness to shadows that had begun to deepen with the dusk. Araden and Kalen walked towards the village outskirts, a quiet intensity settling over them both. Where are we heading, precisely? Araden muttered quietly, noting the determination in Kalen's stride. Kalen glanced anxiously at their surroundings, leaning closer. There is someone else you must meet, a skilled rebel named Seraphine, who has long opposed the dark sorcerer Daemon who usurped the throne. If anyone can rally others to our cause, it's her. They soon approached the entrance to an unassuming tavern, its weathered sign creaking softly, the Midnight Star. Inside, low murmurs filled the air. This was no common alehouse. It was a sanctuary for rebels, outcasts, and fighters hiding from the darkness that gripped Astralya. Araden noticed wary eyes studying them carefully as they entered. Near the back, beneath the dim glow of a solitary candle, sat a woman whose piercing gaze immediately met Araden's. Kalen inclined his head respectfully. Seraphine. Seraphine, her jet-black hair tied in an elegant braid and a series of gracefully etched scars running along her left cheek, regarded them cautiously. You've brought a friend, scholar? Kalen nodded encouragingly. This is Araden, heir apparent of the Starnost bloodline. She carries the legendary crest. Seraphine eyed Araden skeptically, taking a measured sip from her mug. Many before have claimed such lineage. Why should I believe your words, warrior? Araden extended the glowing pendant forward. Seraphine stiffened instantly, visibly startled as her eyes widened slightly in recognition and awe. Impossible. Recovering quickly, her gaze turned sharp again. Even if you possess that, why come here? What do you intend to accomplish? Daemon commands dark power no ordinary fighter can contest. Araden's voice carried newfound strength and certainty. I intend to reclaim what's rightfully ours. Astralya suffers beneath an ancient curse. Our people endure days shadowed with fear. Daemon rules through terror and dark sorcery, and if your loyalty is with our home, rebellion is necessary. I can't succeed alone. I need those who would restore balance and justice. Silence stretched between them for an anxious moment. Finally, A subtle smirk pulled at Seraphine's lips. "You wield courage and sincerity," she admitted quietly, rising slowly from her seat. "Prove your mettle and loyalty and you'll have our allegiance." With a confident nod, Araden replied firmly, "Name your proof." Seraphine leaned forward, lowering her voice to a whisper. "Daemon's spies lurk everywhere, threatening our comrades, even our families. A hidden prison deep within the Blackwind Fortress holds innocents condemned unjustly. Free them, and you'll have all the support you seek." Araden met the rebel leader's fierce gaze without flinching, answering resolutely, "It shall be done." As they turned to leave, uncertainty shadowed Kaelin's expression. "This path grows perilous swiftly," he warned softly. Araden set a resolute hand upon his shoulder, feeling new strength within herself. "Peril might lie ahead," she said calmly, "but I'll not falter now. The lives of many depend upon us." Together, warrior, scholar, and rebel stepped forth into the night, setting their hearts upon a daring rescue, a strike against the heart of darkness that would ignite hope across the realm. Yet in the shadowed halls of Blackwind Fortress, Daemon already waited, his eyes glowing in grim anticipation. Under the cover of a moonless night, Araden, Kaelin, and Seraphine reached the desolate outskirts stretching before Blackwind Fortress. The fortress loomed above them, dark stone walls silhouetted against starless skies, casting sinister shadows across their path. Araden shivered slightly, sensing the forbidding magic woven into its very stones. Kaelin glanced toward her, voice barely a whisper. "Daemon's dark magic is concentrated here. We must tread carefully." Seraphine nodded grimly. "The secret passage we seek lies hidden in the northeastern wall, concealed within tangled roots and vines. Follow me." Cloaked in secrecy, they darted swiftly across barren terrain, avoiding patrols that circled the fortress perimeter. At last, Seraphine uncovered a cleverly hidden crevice obscured by centuries of growth. Easing through carefully, Araden felt darkness push at her consciousness, oppressive and hateful. She shook her head to clear it, gripping the glowing pendant for strength. Inside the passage, stale air pressed heavy around them, whispering faint echoes from deep beneath the fortress. They followed winding tunnels ever downward, trusting only flickering torchlight and Seraphine's instincts. "We're close," Seraphine whispered urgently, as distant cries of imprisoned souls drifted toward them. "Be ready." Araden tightened her grip on the sword at her side. They emerged into a massive cavern filled with cells hewn crudely into the stone itself. Eyes hollowed by despair stared out at them, as prisoners weakly lifted their heads in surprise and tentative hope. "We're here for all of you," Araden declared fiercely, stepping fully into view. "Stay quiet, and we'll free you swiftly." But even as they hurriedly unlocked cells and whispered words of encouragement, dark laughter erupted from above. Daemon stepped deliberately out onto a raised stone platform, his face illuminated by sinister firelight. "How touching!" he sneered, voice echoing through cavernous chambers as he gazed down mockingly. "A descendant of Starnost comes at last, desperately clinging to foolish hope." Araden glared fiercely upward. "Your reign ends now. You have no claim here, sorcerer." Daemon's cold smile heightened the sense of dread, coal-black eyes glittering ominously as he raised one hand, fingers glowing malevolently. "We shall see who leaves this fortress alive." Suddenly, shadows stretched from the walls, writhing into monstrous forms as Daemon's dark magic animated stone and darkness alike. Panic erupted among the freed prisoners, their hope turning swiftly to alarm. "Stand together!" Araden called, summoning every ounce of courage in her heart. "Do not falter, we can prevail." Kaelin murmured incantations under his breath, conjuring spheres of protective starlight to shield fleeing captives. Seraphine, moving swiftly, escorted prisoners back through the hidden tunnels, urging courage into fearful hearts. "Face me yourself, coward!" Araden challenged Daemon, stepping boldly forward to confront him. "Or do you fear the truth in my bloodline?" With cruel amusement, Daemon materialized from above to land silently in front of her. Now face to face, she could feel the immense dark energy radiating from him, suffocating but compelling. "I fear nothing," he hissed, cold fury sparking behind his eyes. "You are but dust beneath the stars, stars destined to fall." Their blades met sharply, sparks igniting in bursts of harsh brilliance. Daemon pushed her back easily, darkness lending him strength. But Araden refused defeat, strengthened by conviction. Deep within, power surged, celestial, pure, and ancient. The pendant surged to brilliant life around her neck, radiating waves of brilliant, unrelenting light. Daemon flinched backward, momentarily faltering in his assault. His hesitation offered slim opportunity, but it was enough. "We're leaving," Araden commanded, voice brimming with newfound authority. "But no, Daemon, your hold will soon break." In swift retreat, she joined Kaelin and Seraphine, guiding the rescued prisoners through twisting tunnels into open starlit air. Though victory came partial and the war still loomed, Araden sensed something had shifted irrevocably in that cavernous pit. A spark had ignited, hope had awakened, and the battle for Astralya's soul had begun in earnest. Returning from Blackwind Fortress, the group found refuge deep within Seraphine's hidden stronghold, nestled within the protective embrace of ancient mountains. There, weary but invigorated warriors and rescued prisoners alike gathered beneath flickering torchlight, hearts igniting with newfound hope, yet shadowed by looming uncertainty. As Araden stood atop a raised stone dais overlooking those assembled, whispers of uncertainty quieted into expectant silence. "Daemon's rule thrives upon fear. Today we challenged him," she began, her voice calm but firm, filling each listener's heart. "We have proven that his power is not invincible, and now hope burns brightly once more." Cheers erupted briefly, mingling with murmurs of agreement. When quiet descended once again, Araden's gaze met each loyal ally present. Kaelin's unwavering confidence, Seraphine's resolute determination, expressions born of courage and duty in the rescued souls. Yet she knew clearly the battle had just begun. Later, while strategizing over maps spread across a sturdy oak table, Seraphine leaned close, voice quiet with seriousness. "Your strength inspires, Araden, but Daemon's true power lies not only with dark magic. He manipulates and corrupts, turning kin against kin." Kaelin nodded solemnly. "If we're to continue, we must strengthen alliances among those whose hearts remain free. Word of your heritage must be spread carefully, lest fear overwhelms the very hope we seek to ignite." Araden pondered thoughtfully. "And the stars themselves seem bound closely in this fate. I felt their strength clearly during the fight. With more knowledge of their power, perhaps we can tip the scales fully." Kaelin tapped the map thoughtfully, eyes aglow with inspiration. "The ancient Starfall Shrine. Legends say it stands upon ground struck directly by fallen stars centuries ago. The elders speak of rituals allowing one to communicate directly with astral spirits, bestowed special gifts." Resolutely, Araden straightened. "Then that's where we'll journey next, to uncover powers lost and reclaim the wisdom of the stars." The following morning dawned with pale mists embracing the mountains, heralding preparation and departure. Araden watched as her newfound companions readied horses, equipment, and supplies, inspired by how swiftly hope forged bonds of trust. On horseback, winding pathways carried the trio swiftly through dense forests filled with vibrant, whispering life. Eventually their path opened suddenly upon a great clearing, where vast ruins stood majestically beneath golden sunlight, shimmering faintly. "Starfall Shrine, at last!" Kaelin breathed reverently. Ancient carvings etched celestial symbols upon crumbling columns still seemingly pulsing with magic. As Araden stepped forward hesitantly, the pendant at her neck blazed brilliantly once more, awakening hidden mechanisms. Stone shifted slowly, sliding silently open to reveal a sacred stairway descending into soft darkness below. Carefully descending the hidden stairs, she felt whispers around her, spectral voices ancient and wise. At the shrine's base stood a glittering, translucent crystal chamber, stars dancing within its walls. "Welcome, daughter of Starnost," whispered ethereal voices in perfect chorus. "We have awaited your return." "Are you spirits of the fallen stars?" Araden asked, wonder trembling in her voice. "We are echoes, guardians of wisdom lost. Our strength may empower the rightful heart, but first we offer warnings. Power comes with tests of heart and spirit. Are you prepared to confront darkness within and without, daughter of destiny?" Though uncertainty flickered briefly inside, Araden's voice rang steady and sure. "I will face any darkness if it means freeing Astralya from tyranny." Stars swirled around her in shimmering embrace, infusing her being with knowledge and ancient strength. Emerging hours later into fading sunlight, gaze alight with newfound confidence and illumination, she nodded to Seraphine and Kaelin. "Now begins our true fight." Renewed by the power of the Starfall Shrine, Araden returned with Kaelin and Seraphine to the rebel sanctuary nestled amid the mountains. Word had spread rapidly of their confrontation with Daemon, inspiring warriors, merchants, scholars, and villagers from surrounding lands who yearned for freedom. Yet as hope blossomed within the expanding rebellion, spies brought troubling news from across the realm. Daemon, enraged by Araden's defiance, amassed forces beyond his fortress gates. Dark, twisted beasts conjured from shadow and blood magic marched alongside warriors corrupted or bound unwillingly through malicious spells. In a dim-lit chamber, Araden, Seraphine, Kaelin, and trusted lieutenants pored anxiously over fresh reports, each new revelation more daunting. Do we possess sufficient strength to meet these threats? A warrior named Jens questioned cautiously, glancing apprehensively around. Strength grows by each day, Seraphine replied resolutely, yet we must remain vigilant. Daemon will exploit every fear, weakness, and uncertainty. Araden nodded gravely. It's crucial we protect innocents first. Fortify nearby villages, evacuate those most at risk behind our lines. Her steady leadership drew murmurs of agreement. Kaelin pointed towards a distant city marked upon weathered maps. The city of Elmswatch has long resisted Daemon's influence openly. They control vital routes that supply his fortifications. If we secure allegiance with their leader, Lady Melis, we'd significantly weaken Daemon's strength. It won't be easy, Seraphine murmured thoughtfully. Melis values strength and valor. She will require proof of our resolve and ability to succeed. Determination flashed in Araden's gaze. I'll meet her personally. Our cause relies on unity, and if alliances can shorten this war, I will forge them myself. Leaving their forces under Seraphine's and Kaelin's capable command, Araden rode swiftly towards Elmswatch, wary yet hopeful. Rows of ancient, majestic elm trees greeted her approach, their branches embracing the path like guardians. Elmswatch itself bustled with controlled energy, citizens moving swiftly, barricades raised protectively but decorated proudly with colorful banners. At Elmswatch's heart stood Lady Melis, severe yet regal in polished armor, awaiting Araden calmly. I've heard stories, Melis greeted, face unreadable. But tales alone won't suffice. Why risk my people's safety for a hope that might fade easily beneath Daemon's darkness? Because hope is not fragile, Araden replied confidently, meeting Lady Melis's calculating gaze fearlessly. Hope endures storm and shadow alike, transforms fear into strength. Together, our realms will reclaim the peace and freedom we both seek. Melis studied her intently, silent for several moments before nodding subtly. Your words ring true, Araden of Starnost. I'll put my faith not merely in stories, but in your courage. But heed me carefully. My people's blood shall not be spent recklessly. Returning triumphantly toward the rebel camp with newfound alliances secured, Araden felt a surge of pride tempered by the weight of responsibility. The stakes now were higher, battles ahead more dangerous and critical. Dark clouds gathered ominously far on the horizon, whispering promises of trials yet to come. But united under shimmering banners of freedom and courage, the people of Astralya prepared resolutely to meet them. With Elmswatch's allegiance now secured, Araden returned to the mountain stronghold to find preparations for battle well underway. Forges blazed as weapons were sharpened, armor repaired, and banners sewn under a vibrant tapestry of hope and resolve. Yet peace eluded Araden. Each night brought troubled dreams, a swirling chaos of shadow and starlight, echoes of Daemon's sinister laughter chasing her from sleep. Her mind lingered heavily upon the Elder's warning about confronting darkness within oneself. Could that very darkness be waiting patiently within her? Recognizing her unrest, Kaelin found her standing alone near the battlements one evening, gazing upwards. "Are you troubled, Araden?" he asked softly, approaching slowly to respect her solitude. She sighed, nodding subtly. "We've built alliances, inspired hope, yet I fear darkness still lingers. What if Daemon's corruption infects our ranks? What if it infects me?" He smiled comfortingly. "Great power always contains shadows of doubt, but your strength lies in your light. Remember who you are. Starnost blood flows within your veins, bearing courage greater than fear." His faith warmed her, though concerns lingered. But conversation was disrupted abruptly when panicked shouts echoed urgently from the camp's edge. Descending swiftly, Araden discovered frantic scouts carrying dire news. A nearby village burned, survivors fleeing desperately. "Daemon's creatures attacked when least expected," a scout stammered breathlessly. He aims to provoke fear, weaken resolve. Eyes flaming fiercely with anger and grief, Araden swiftly gathered Seraphine and Kaelin. "We must respond decisively," she declared purposefully, meeting determined gazes around her. "Daemon will find defiance, not despair." With forces rallied quickly, they rode forth beneath starlit skies, emboldened riders united by resolve and justice. Reaching smoldering remnants of the village, lamenting villagers approached uncertainly, recognizing symbols emblazoned proudly upon banners flying above. "You came," a village elder murmured gratefully, tears gleaming with relief. "We feared Daemon broke all remaining spirits." Araden stepped forward, voice firm yet gentle. "Daemon seeks compliance through terror, but we unite against this darkness, standing stronger together than apart. Join our cause, fight beside disheartened kin, reclaim your homeland." Inspired faces filled with newfound courage, villagers pledged allegiance swiftly. Turning determinedly towards Daemon's advance forces encamped nearby, Araden commanded a daring midnight attack. Surging forth under cover of darkness and starlight, the unified forces struck fiercely. Daemon's twisted creatures hissed and snarled, shadows writhing violently, but unity and courage overwhelmed darkness, scattering enemy ranks decisively. Yet amid the battle's chaos, Araden found herself momentarily isolated. Emerging from shadow, a familiar mercenary approached, unmasked now, eyes filled with torment and guilt. "You again!" Araden breathed warily, recognizing her earlier attacker. He stepped forward cautiously, weapon lowered. "My name is Thalion. I've no wish to serve Daemon's cruelty longer. Darkness stole my will. Forgive me if possible." Araden hesitated briefly, searching his anguished face, sensing sincerity. "Then fight beside us. Turn despair into redemption." His eyes shone with surprise, gratitude, and resolve. With his sword raised, Thalion joined their side decisively. The battle won, surviving enemy forces retreating hastily beyond darkened horizons, Araden recognized crucial truths illuminated clearly tonight. The true battle was not merely blades and armies, but hearts freed and inspired. Daemon's defeat depended not only upon strength, but compassion. Returning beneath victorious starlight, rebellion ranks swelled further by united villagers and warriors redeemed. Araden understood clearly how victory could finally be won. Fighting fear with hope, shadow with light, never losing faith in humanity's enduring strength. With every passing day, the rebel forces grew stronger, taking heart in their recent victories. Yet Araden knew the hardest battles lay ahead. Beneath flickering torches and endless stars, the leaders plotted their next move. "Blackwind Fortress remains Daemon's stronghold," Seraphine pointed out gravely, tracing fortifications on the worn map before them. "He has been quiet since our last clash, a troubling silence." "Silence often precedes the storm," Kaelin agreed, worry creasing his forehead. "Daemon plans something. We cannot underestimate him." Araden stood firm, her eyes resolute. "Our path is set. We must confront him directly. With each victory, we've rallied hope. Now, we strike at the very source of darkness." Thalion, who now stood loyally at her side, nodded solemnly. "I served under Daemon's command unwillingly. I know hidden paths into the fortress, weaknesses he believes undiscovered. Let me guide you." Seraphine exchanged cautious glances with Kaelin. Trusting former foes carried risks, but Araden stepped forward decisively. "I trust Thalion," she declared clearly, capturing everyone's attention. "We've witnessed that darkness can be overcome. None among us are beyond redemption. He's proven himself loyal and brave." Moved by her words, Thalion straightened proudly. "I swear to fight for Astralya's freedom, to my last breath." At dawn, united under streaming banners of hope and defiance, rebel forces marched decisively toward Blackwind Fortress, courage bolstered by allies joining their ranks along the journey. Villagers, scholars, soldiers, and former adversaries marched shoulder to shoulder, hearts unified. But near sunset, unsettling news arrived through a breathless scout. Daemon leads his full army personally toward Elmswatch. His threat to Lady Melis's people is vengeance against our rebellion. Seraphine's face turned grave. "We must divert immediately. Melis's city cannot stand alone." Yet Araden hesitated, heart twisting beneath the weight of responsibility. That's exactly his intention, to divert and weaken our forces, stall momentum. "We cannot abandon Elmswatch," Kaelin insisted earnestly. "Our pledge and honor depend upon support offered sincerely." Araden's gaze lifted toward darkening skies filled once again with starlight, thus seeking silent guidance amid chaos. "Then we'll split our forces," she resolved finally, issuing decisive commands. "Kaelin and Seraphine, lead fighters to reinforce Malus swiftly, protect Elmswatch and its people. I'll lead a select team into Blackwind Fortress itself with Thalion's guidance." Concern shadowed her closest allies' gazes, but determination silenced their protests. "Trust me," Araden pleaded softly but firmly, gripping each hand briefly. "We must face both threats courageously. Every heart in Astralya depends upon it." Under deepening twilight, warriors divided reluctantly yet purposefully. Watching her friends depart toward Elmswatch, Araden steeled herself for the path ahead. Darkness surrounded Blackwind Fortress ominously as Thalion guided Araden's small strike team toward hidden passageways undetected. "Daemon believes his defense is impregnable," Thalion murmured softly, leading onward through secret tunnels twisting deeper beneath stone foundations. "But arrogance blinds him. We'll utilize its shadow." Ascending silently, they arrived within corridors close to Daemon's throne room. Araden's heart thundered fiercely, adrenaline sharpening every sense. As they prepared to move forward, shadows rippled unsettlingly ahead, darkness taking familiar shape. Daemon appeared before them, eyes glittering with sinister amusement. "Welcome home, Araden," he hissed coldly, dark energy pulsing menacingly around him. "Your bravery is admirable." Drawing upon celestial strength surging within, Araden lifted her sword defiantly. "The spirit of Astralya won't be extinguished this night," she shouted fiercely. Steel clashed, sparks igniting amid the darkness as fates intertwined violently beneath stars shining brighter than ever. Araden stood resolute, aware the battle now raging inside Blackwind Fortress would determine not just her own fate, but the destiny of an entire kingdom balanced precariously upon courage, sacrifice, and hope. Within the heart of Blackwind Fortress, shadows fought fiercely against starlight. Each clash sent ripples of harsh light through the ancient stone corridors. Araden matched Daemon blow for blow, every strike pulsing with determination, fueled by hope and urgency. Yet Daemon's dark magic surged mightier still, bending reality itself, twisting shadows into monstrous apparitions. "Give in, Araden," Daemon taunted, his voice cold and resonant. "Your bloodline ends here. Your hope fades into nothingness." "Never!" Araden steeled her nerves against his psychological warfare, channeling the unwavering strength of legendary Starnost rulers who preceded her. The celestial energy swirling around her intensified in response, illuminating ancient symbols carved deep into the fortress walls, symbols that glowed brighter with every breath. Meanwhile, far away in Elmswatch, Kaelin and Seraphine rallied their forces, fighting valiantly against relentless waves of Daemon's twisted army. Lady Malus stood boldly at the forefront with them, inspiring resilience. "Hold the line," Malus shouted above the chaos, her voice ringing clearly. "We fight not just for ourselves, but for the future." Back in the fortress, realizing brute strength alone wouldn't defeat the sorcerer, Araden allowed her instincts to guide her, straining to recall the wisdom gleaned at Starfall Shrine. The pendant at her neck burned with gentle guidance, illuminating hidden patterns etched within the room. Suddenly, clarity surged within her. Daemon drew his power from aggressive violence, from hate, fear, despair. To defeat him meant doing the unthinkable, offering vulnerability, compassion, forgiveness. Lowering her blade slightly, Araden spoke slowly, sincerely. "Daemon, you chose darkness out of fear, but it doesn't have to define you, or anyone, forever. There is always a choice." Daemon's assault faltered slightly in confusion, uncertainty flickering momentarily on his usually impassive expression. "Weakness," he hissed, struggling internally as something deep within seemed to resist his own words. "Not weakness," she countered softly, cautiously stepping nearer. "True strength. Your power brings only misery and loneliness. Let it go." Held prisoner beneath layers of darkness, Daemon hesitated uncertainly. Araden sensed the brief but desperate conflict within him. Dark magic wrestling violently against humanity, buried long ago but never completely lost. Then, suddenly, the shadows surged, fierce and uncontrolled, slamming Araden backward violently, emanating from Daemon in chaotic defiance of compassion. "I will not yield!" Daemon roared, overtaken again by darkness, stronger than will. Yet in his momentary uncertainty, Araden glimpsed how close true victory might lie. Drawing herself up resolutely, gripping her sword again, She prepared herself for the final conflict, knowing clearly now that either her bravery would illuminate Astralya's freedom, or extinguish forever beneath shadows unending. Outside the fortress and across Astralya, walls of darkness pressed cruelly against desperately courageous forces unified by hope itself. And deep within the fortress, Araden readied herself for destiny's critical moment, a climactic confrontation that would define the future of the realm. Within Blackwind Fortress's heart, the climactic confrontation raged between shadow and starlight, each echoing clash resonating deeply through ancient venerable stones. Araden faced Daemon head-on, every stroke of her sword imbued with the resolve of her ancestors and an unwavering belief in human redemption. Relentlessly, darkness sought to drown her spirit, yet Araden now understood the truth of the Elder's words, that to truly defeat Daemon required more than weapons or celestial power. It required compassion. "It's never too late to remember who you once were," she urged fiercely, eyes locked with Daemon's tormented gaze. "You've blinded yourself with power, Daemon, but beneath it, your humanity remains. Make the choice. End this darkness." A fleeting spark of recognition flashed in Daemon's stare, a momentary lucidity amidst swirling conflict. His voice trembled as he spoke, bitterness mingled with longing. "You believe so deeply in light when darkness rules this broken world." "Only because we allow it?" Araden countered passionately, lowering her blade once more, a gesture of trust, vulnerability, and strength together. Across the realm, hearts once bound by fear began to awaken beneath beams of celestial brilliance filtering through clouds parting overhead. At Elmswatch, Seraphine, Kaelin, and Lady Malys stood unfalteringly beside their forces, witnessing shadows recoil from warriors united by shared courage. In the fortress, Daemon faltered, his form flickering between oppressive shadow and something more human, more vulnerable. Araden stepped steadily towards him, knowing the risk was tremendous, yet understanding victory could never arise from fear. "Let go of your hate," she whispered gently, voice filled with sincerity and hope alike. "Return to us, reclaim yourself from this darkness." Eyes wide with an internal battle, Daemon's defenses shattered. He fell heavily to his knees, shadows dissipating like tendrils of smoke, a ruler stripped suddenly of twisted power. "Forgive me," Daemon gasped weakly, vulnerability finally overpowering darkness. A single tear slipped slowly down his cheek, humanity asserting itself once again. Araden knelt beside him, placing one compassionate hand gently upon his shoulder. "Forgiveness is yours, but your redemption rests solely in your future actions." Outside the fortress, skies blazed brilliantly with starlight, illuminating a kingdom long shadowed beneath cruel tyranny. Daemon's remaining corrupted forces scattered quickly, darkness banished completely by radiant hope shared collectively. Returning victoriously toward her people, Araden stood before countless faces filled now with joy, pride, renewal, and loyalty, unshaken by fear. "Today, we reclaim our destiny," she declared resolutely, voice ringing clearly through joyous cheers erupting passionately. "Never again will we allow darkness to overshadow hearts brave enough to hope. Astralya will heal and thrive united, grateful always for lessons learned through struggle." The elder approached proudly from the gathered multitude, the faint gleam of joyful tears shining softly within wise eyes. "You've learned well, daughter of stars. You turned darkness into compassion, and this strength will guide Astralya forevermore." Together, scholars, rebels, warriors, villagers, redeemed foes, Astralia's people pledged everlasting protection of hard-won peace and unity. A kingdom illuminated forever by hope that even the deepest darkness could finally find light once again. And beneath shimmering constellations, illuminating freedom restored, Araden took her throne, knowing clearly the Starnost legacy threaded courageously through distant heavens, and every resilient heart now beating proudly within her beloved land.